In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. We are thankful to Allah for allowing us to meet with you once again for congregational prayer service. And to be able to remind you of the importance of the keeping up of prayer. For as you are finding out that prayers to Allah will get you an answer. Prayers to Allah will keep you safe. And following the instructions in righteousness will make you a better person, will make you a new person. Excuse me. I want you to listen to this definition here, because you are seeing things. We are all seeing things now that we never thought we would see. Just blatant injustice and blatant wrongdoing. I mean, just right out in the open, and nobody even trying to hide it. They're just doing it right in front of you. Look at this verse here. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn to the 92nd chapter of the book of Psalms. Well, I think I'm going to read chapter 91 and chapter 92. It says, in chapter 91, it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall live under the shadow of the Almighty." You know your shadow follow you wherever you go. Is that right? So you remember this is written. It says, "My sheep hear my voice and they follow me." Huh? Well, man shall not live by what? Bread alone, but by what? Every word that proceeded from the followers of God. They were the mouth of God. They were the shadows of God. Therefore, you shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Then it says, "I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge." Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of men, the King of men, the God of men. Right? Okay. "He is my refuge and my fortress, my God. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler." You know why we are compared to birds? It is because even though we walk around on two legs like a bird does, you know, birds have two legs too, right? But they can take flight. And you notice our minds take flight. Our minds ascend. You notice when you was a child, you understood as a child, but you notice all the things that you understood as a child, you have ascended above those things. Is that right? Excuse me. You can go up and down. I'm kind of skimming this because we got some work that we got to go out here and do. My little brother, I know he wants to handle his business, and so I'm skimming today. But tomorrow I'll go into more depth of this with you. "He shall cover thee with his feathers, That's one way of putting it. And under his wings shalt thou trust. Unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with what? Healing where? Under his wings shall you trust. It says, his truth shall be thy shield and buckler. When I tell people all the time, there's no such thing as your truth and my truth. But there is a such thing as your understanding and my understanding. Now, that is your understanding of truth. Your understanding of truth. Now, under his truth, under his understanding, says, his understanding shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, terrorism and that kind of thing. By night is when people terrorize you, they come to you at a time when you look not for them like a thief in the night, right? So, well, you shall not be afraid, as it says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. When you see people openly doing things that you know is wrong and seem to be getting away with it. Nor for the pestilence, like this virus, this pandemic that's going on at this particular time, the coronavirus. No, you don't have to be afraid. When you know what to do and you take the necessary steps, then you don't have to be afraid of as it says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. I mean, you can't walk outside and see whether that virus is floating right outside your door, but you can put a mask on just in case. Is that right? Yeah. You can't see who has it and who does not. You don't know who's carrying it and who's not, but you can put a mask on to protect others just in case you have been a carrier, and to protect yourself just in case others are carrying it. So it says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Allah gives you instructions to follow that will keep you safe. You notice, that's the one thing I always say when I'm dismissing you, that may Allah bless you and bless us all and keep us safe. Yeah. Now, Allah put that in my heart to say, but even that's written right here in this book here. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Allah told me to warn you. You walking around here without these masks on, here you coming up on flu season, coupled with this virus. For love of Allah's sake, I warn you who hate me. You who are my fellow human beings, which is everybody on this earth, even those who hate me. For the sake of yourself and your family, put a mask on. For the sake of yourself and your family, listen to the scientific community that Allah has blessed. Are you aware that science actually is the search for truth? That's what actually science is. It is the search for truth. It's like people say scientists can't believe in God. Scientists are the first ones that believe in God. Even those who don't acknowledge your religious views and whatnot, because I don't acknowledge your religious views. Scientists believe in truth, and truth is God. Truth is what grants us dominion over whatever is troubling us. I was told to give you warning from Allah. You know what wickedness is? It's people who allow themselves to be used for giving light of understanding of how to do the wrong thing. They are used, as the book says, for wickedness burneth as the fire. And if you allow yourself to be a carrier of education that leads people to their destruction, you are the wick for that fire, for that education. Like a wick on a candle is used as fuel for the fire that lights that candle. But so it says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Everybody that trusts in me, as David and Jesus and Ezekiel and Moses and Muhammad, all of them warned you to do, then you will not experience the reward of the wicked. You will only see it with your eyes, but it won't happen to you. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. That's why he says that I'm a refuge for you, because he protects me and where I stay. And so everybody who comes where I stay, they are protected in my circle. Do you understand? And it says, they shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone, lest I stumble. Says, thou shalt tread upon the lion and the snake and the adder. The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. What is that to say? Your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field that the Lord God had made. So the lion is the beastly nature, and the serpent is the deceiving nature of the same character, who is the devil. And it says, so I will tread on both. And as long as you with me, you will tread on them too. And it says, because he hath set his love upon thee, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He hath understood the truth. And it says, he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. That's why he said, behold my servant whom I uphold. You know, when I call upon Allah to cast somebody into hell, all I have to do is say amen. And he answers my prayer to cast them into hell. He told me to do that. He said, cast into hell every ungrateful, rebellious one. And it says, I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. I bear witness. I ain't never seen a man as old as me get around as good as I do. Have you? Huh? Oh, I could still run the 50-yard dash and compete. Yeah. I know who doing that for me. That's all Allah's doing. The messenger said, how to eat to live. He told me, he said, you eat this. And he even prayed. He said, I pray Allah that you live the years of Methuselah. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. You know, I haven't taken the time to count the sharps and the flats on the piano, but you know the piano is a stringed instrument. Most people don't know that. They haven't thought about that. But you open it up and look in there, you see them strings of wire in there. But anyway, and so it's a lot of string instruments: the auto harp, the guitar, the harp. You know, and says upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. You know, even our bodies are an instrument of 10 strings. We have 10 systems in our body. And, you know, the skeletal system, the endocrine system, the digestive system, the circulatory system, all them systems strung together, making up our being. Says an instrument of 10 strings. And it says, for thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. Yes. Haven't you noticed how happy you are when you read in the scriptures and see all this good news in there for the righteous? Says, for thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. That's who made the Bible? Who made the Holy Quran? It is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. Yes, it is prophesied that we will triumph. We will be the winners. It's prophesied in the works of Allah's hands. Allah's hands was his messengers. And in their word, they prophesied of our a triumphant hour, being triumphant over the world of evil. It says, O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep, so deep that no one could understand them until now. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of truth, the mind of truth, moved upon the face of the deep. And God said, the one that mind was with said, let there be light of understanding. And there was light of understanding. And he says, a brutish man knoweth not. To knoweth not is to understand not. Neither doth a fool understand this. That's why people who hear me giving you understanding and got nerve enough to come in here and call me an idiot or a fool. That's why I was told, cast them into hell for being ungrateful and rebellious. And he said, you know how long people been trying to understand these books? Ever since they was made. And now Allah has given you a son of righteousness, a light to explain his righteousness. And you come in here to insult me? You belong in hell for blasphemy against the Holy Ghost. He says, when the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity, let's look up iniquity, wickedness, unrighteousness, evil doing, infamy, depravity, gross injustice. Boy, that's a terrible word, ain't it? For that word to fit you. When all the workers of iniquity do flourish like they doing now, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to let you hear something now. And then we will have prayer.
We are looking for death. Oh, Reverend, over there. And he put up his sign for you and me to wish it up. If we're going to worship this sign of a murder and follow the murder, then what are we looking for? Death.
Now, see, you don't like to tell the truth. It's just like Donald Trump. Every time he opened his mouth, he lying. He's actually talking to you in language that you don't understand. And he knows you don't understand. It's just like the art of the deal. Your mind is one track. He knows that. He knows what that meant to you. You thought it meant sitting around going back and forth with people and coming up to a compromise that's in your best interest, right? You don't forget. Deal also means is something that takes place when you playing cards. And a card shark and a cheat knows how to deal from the bottom of the deck without you knowing it. Knows how to stack the deck against you. Right? The art, it's an art to being able to cheat while you're dealing. Huh? He says one thing to you. Every time he opens his mouth, he's dealing out to you thoughts. Then when he's behind the closed doors, I'm glad this virus came out, so because I don't have to shake hands with these disgusting people. Huh? But when he get out in front of me, I love you, I love you. He's double dealing. Telling you what you want to hear so that you can bet on him and put all your trust in him. You know, when you bet on something, put your trust in what's being dealt to you. Is that right? Cards go. You you look at your hand and it look like it's a winning hand. You bet on it, right? You never think that the one who dealing to you just doing that to suck you in, right? As Howard Stern told you. Say, you go there and to Mar-a-Lago, is you in that circle with him? You see anybody that look like you? You see anybody there that seem like they on the same level as you? Or is it just the rest of the people like in The Last Stand on X-Men when Magneto told Pyro, so no, wait, let the pawns go first. Huh? And when they got slaughtered, Magneto told Pyro, see, always let the pawns go first. Right? Yeah. You But he already thinks you're disgusting. You think he cares something about a redneck? You think he cares something about an uneducated, poor white man or woman? Does his history? He's a billionaire, he say. What has he ever done to help you? Does he have a history of caring about poor people? Well, you about I pity you. Anyway, let's stand and have prayer. I'm going. Oh, I said I was going to let you hear this. Just a moment.
We are looking for death. Oh, Reverend, it's a shame that he deceived you like this. I'm not coming here to make fun of you. I'm coming here to make you wise to the murder. That's up to you to believe it or let alone, but here is his way. He says to you and me that I've taken your Jesus and I killed him, hung him up on a cross. Now nigga, come on and worship him because I'm going to do you the same. And he's done it. I don't want to argue with you. I just want to tell you outright truth. That you see.
Was he telling the truth or was he lying? I mean, if you took somebody out and did to them what you're and you gonna let him hang there, is that not murder? He hadn't been convicted of anything. The majority just said, let him be crucified. Huh? And so they went about the business of carrying out their murderous intentions. Right? Okay.
That you see. Any man or a woman go and worship that cross, cause it is sign that leads them to their salvation, should be taken and put in the insane asylum.
And it's a lot of people that went insane out of the church. Yes. Had nervous breakdowns and all that stuff, trying to live according to the church teaching. They drive you insane. You got to be somewhat crazy to think that the murder of a man was God's plan for salvation. Let me show you. If you had understood the Bible, there's no way they could have sold that lie to you. You'd have been telling her, I'm gonna buy that in this book here. It says that, and I saw. Just look at what it says here in the book of Revelation. In the 6th chapter, starting at the 9th verse, it says, and when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God. Ain't that why they was killing Jesus? For the word of God that he brought. Huh? It says, and for the testimony which they held. Even unto death, they did not take it back. Huh? They were willing to die for that word. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Do that sound like they came to die for you? Huh? Then why they want me to take vengeance on you for killing them? You through coming out here lying in their names. That's why I took the book from you.
That's no sign of life. That's a sign of death. See how far you are. You are off from the knowledge of what you were given. A man give you that cross and then tell you that you fall in Jesus to heaven. They'll bust his face open. The enemy has molded you into death. My church, my denomination.
When he said molded you, once upon a time this, once upon a time that. Fiction. We were molded. Our minds were molded into the shape to just receive lies. They educated us on a steady diet of lies. Hansel and Gretel, the 3 bears and Goldilocks, Little Red Riding Hood, Santa Claus, just lies. Molded into death. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding. That's just another way of saying the man that wanders away from the truth. And he just gradually pulling you off the path of truth. getting you lost. So you were rightly called the lost found. Found out there lost. Now, I got the hardest job that ever was. To try to teach people that which they thought they already knew.
Your church of hell and your denomination is hell. That's right.
Hell is misunderstanding. Your church of hell, your crying and moaning and groaning about being mistreated. Because you don't know what to do about the mistreatment. That's hell. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the very one who go and mistreat you, he come out, what's wrong with you? You couldn't even tell him that your life mattered without him insulting you. Black lives matter. Well, all lives matter. And you didn't know what to say back to him. You notice he don't come in here talking that trash to me. He shut his mouth at me. He better shut up. So I'm not charged to beg you to let me save your life. Allah told me to give you warning. He said, warn the righteous and the wicked. Warn black and white people. Warn all of them. Because ain't none of them righteous. None. No, not one. So offer salvation to all of them. And whoever call on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
They do not have no respect over in that church for the members there, nor anyone that will visit. Fight. They hang you on the tree. They said they hang the Jesus on the tree. You have it now, clear, because they do hang you. Be like Jesus, he said. Tell himself, what? For what? For you to hang me and nail me to the cross like you did him? But no, he have made you to love death and worship the murder. When you tell him about us, are you one of them? That's what he will say. Oh, you done left the church? Tell him I should not have never been in it. Oh, slave house, with a cross, a sign of imprisonment, suffering, and finally death. The church now is getting hungry. The Muslim is getting fat. That's right. You have the Bible to teach you that, but you didn't know who it was talking about. We shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Christians, I'm so sorry for you. And the worst of all, that Christianity leads you to seek a heaven in the sky, off the earth, where food and clothes is at, where shelter is at. They teach you to look up in the sky for you. Tell them I'm already sheltered by that canopy. I don't need to pray to go to it. It was built for our sakes. Brother. You know, if I had gotten here in time, I would have preached. What can you do with this religion to aid you in getting for yourself that which he has gotten of this earth for himself? Good home, money, friendship. How are you going to get it? Now, when the trumpet of life is sounding and it don't care a cross, it's against the cross. It's come to destroy the cross. This is exactly what Islam is here for. Give you a sign that is worthwhile. Look at our sign over there. It corresponds with what you live under daily and nightly. Yours corresponds with that which we find over in the grave. So many graves, expensively built, putting that sign on a cross. Have you ever studied the cross? If the cross means that we're at crossroads with each other, that's right. It means that the cross is at the crossroad with the crescent. But yet,
You notice that's where you at right now. You got to choose now. You have a choice you have to make. Whether to go with me or go with the slave master and the lie him and told you he had been lying to you. And I invited him in here to show that he have not lied to you. He don't come in there. He told me, he said, say to them who disbelieve them, don't tell them I don't serve what you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve. Nor shall I serve that which you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve. And for you is your recompense, and for me is my recompense. And just leave them standing there buck-eyed. Coming in here with their nice, nasty self. You remember that one come in here pretending to believe in Jesus, Mr. Muhammad. I did, yeah. And then when I let him try to finish the Lord's Prayer, he didn't even know it. Got nerve enough to be talking about he loved Jesus. Lying devil. So anyway, you can't bring your lies in here. The truth has come. And all lies must vanish. Yeah. I mean, the messenger told us the white race knows the truth. They know God. And they know they've been lying. The rulers do. It's just like Planet of the Apes. You remember when the scientist, the little scientist was there? He was a geologist or what they call them, archaeologist. And he found this cave and found a little toy doll in there. And it puzzled him because they had been teaching him that the ape was the superior and supreme thing. And he come to find this little human doll and stuff in there. And the old ones knew. And they had been lying to their offspring about where they came from. You understand? Like these old white people, they knew and they know that the black man is the father of all human beings. And there's nothing inferior about black people. The only thing that have been inferior is the knowledge that they shared with us. It has always been inferior to what they shared with them, their own. That's how they stayed up on top and we stayed on the bottom. They gave us inferior education. Do you understand? I'm not speaking in a vacuum. I'm saying this in front of them. And instead of you, my poor people, being happy that I'm here to teach you and to help you to get up, many of you, my poor brothers, so messed up in the head, only thing you can think of is to be jealous because it ain't you standing up here. And instead of joining with me to help me to get our people up, you try to figure out ways that you think might make me look bad and tear me down. And all you're doing is tearing yourself down. Just like those foolish brothers who thought they could take the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's place. And when he wasn't here no more, they lost everything. But seemed to be happy when they lost everything.
Oh, God. Cannot get along without our oppressor. They got to have the sun, moon, and stars. Remove that away from them and all go crazy at once. Remove that cross away from us, we're all is free at once. It was made to enslave men and death. That's the cross that you have been deceived to follow for salvation. You follow Jesus. He was hung on a cross, you say. He was not hung on no cross. Allah taught me that he made a cross out of himself. He stretched forth his hands like this and let the deputy shaft stab him to death quickly through his heart.
When he said that he was not hung on the cross, he was meaning he did not die on no cross. That's what himself and let the soldier stab him through the heart.
He didn't die on no cross. And the deputy sheriff that was sent out after it, he wanted to make a quick death of it because he did not see where he was guilty of the crime laid against him. So he told him, if you let me kill you, he said, I will kill you so quick that you'll never feel it. He said, then I will get twice the reward for you, since that you know you're going to die and you came for that purpose. So he said, I will kill you so quick that you never feel it. And
every messenger of God came to give his life for the truth that he was speaking. Where you think we get to saying, prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death is all for Allah. Solomon kind of stuck it in there in this way. He said, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, study her ways and become wise." You notice, ants, they will pick up poison that's been killing them, and they will carry it as far as they can until it kill them. And then the other one would pick it up, and he'll carry it as far as he can till it kill him, until they get it to the queen, and she will eat it and produce ants that are immune to that poison from that point on. I remember when I was a little boy and they had a song that said, "We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to die. We have to hold up that blood-stained banner, that red banner. We have to hold it up until we die." Huh? Yeah. So every messenger of God held up the word of life. For the blood is the life of a creature, and blood is red. And that's the red in our flag there. It's the sun. And they held up the banner until the banner of truth, until, like John the Baptist, he held it up until Jesus showed up. Then John said, "Well, I have to go now. I have to die now." And they chopped John's head off. But Jesus picked it up and went, and he said, "Father, I finished the work that you gave me to do." And he said, "Now I come to thee." And Jesus, he was murdered too. All of the messengers of God, you murdered them. And so they all held up the truth until they died. After they delivered it, Allah protected them while they had it and until they finished delivering what he gave them. And so it's much to be understood. But we say our prayers, our sacrifice, our life. We say, "My life and my death is all for Allah." That's right. So if Jesus did not
Did so, shot his sharp knife through his heart, and the man was dead in it. Well, because he did not see where he was guilty of the crime laid against him. So he told him, "If you let me kill you," he said, "I will kill you so quick that you never feel it." He said, "Then I will get twice the reward for you, since that you know you're going to die and you came for that purpose." So he said, "I will kill you so quick that you never feel it." And he did so. He shot his sharp knife through his heart, and the man was dead in it.
Walking fast mean you found something.
Jesus didn't die from being nailed to a cross. He was killed by a soldier's spear.
The spirit of destiny.
Jesus didn't die from being nailed to a cross. He was killed by a soldier's spear.
The spirit.
Jesus didn't die from being nailed to a cross. He was killed by a soldier's spear.
The spirit of destiny. I'm Catholic, John. I know the crucifixion story.
See, they've been knowing that. So, all that stuff you've been told about Jesus died for you wasn't nothing but a lie. Now, got you worshiping white folks. And that's why in the Matrix, if you recall, when Neo walked up behind Cypher and scared him, he said, "Phew, you frightened to be Jesus out of me." Well, I say frightened to be Jesus out of him. Because that's where you get all these pictures. Who is this? Who is this white boy here? Who is this fella? Somebody that they pull off the street and ask, do you want to be Jesus? And then they dress him up, put a robe on him and whatnot, and you know, and how many pictures like this you done seen? It's always some white boy with a beard and long hair and gave you that to worship. You want to be Jesus? Well, he's frightened to be Jesus out of him. What do you mean frightened to be Jesus? He don't want to be Jesus now. No. The truth has come. You notice they ain't coming in here trying to defend what they did. He know that I couldn't know all of these things that I'm sharing with you if I wasn't the Lord. If you think I'm making it up, come in here and let me see you make up something like this. And let me question you. So, we got work to do, and let's have prayer, and then we're going to go and do our work. Stand and let's have prayer. Attention. Original salute. Ready front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continue to guide us and keep us on the right path and way, the straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will be brought down, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray even after they've heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. And O Allah, please continue to guide us among those whom thou hast and wilt guide aright, and preserve and perfect us among those whom thou hast and wilt preserve and perfect, and befriend us among those whom thou hast and wilt befriend, and bless us in whatsoever thou dost grant to us, and deliver us from the evils of what thou hast judged. For surely thou judgest, and there is none that can judge against thee. And surely he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art thou, our Lord, and exalted be thee above that which they set up beside thee. Thou begettest not, nor art thou begotten. Thou art one, and none is like unto thee. And none deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. And our Father Allah, in heaven praised is and be thy holy and righteous name. Let thy kingdom come and thy will be done on the earth, as it is written in the heaven. Give us this day the understanding and hearts that ever incline to thy truth and righteousness. And forgive us our trespasses, and help us to forgive those of our brethren who may trespass against us. And leave us not alone during the times of temptation and trial, but please stand by us and deliver us from all the evils thereof. For thine is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and the power over them are thine forever and ever and ever. Amen, amen, and amen. Attention, hut. Original salute. Ready, front. You may be seated. And now we're going to dismiss you and let you go and handle your business, and we're going to go handle ours. So may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. And those of you who are visiting with us from all over the world, all over the earth, I thank you for the respect that you are starting to show us. And believe me, that respect is mutual. We wish none of you any harm. We only want that we can come together as was meant to be. You started from one. So all of us should be one since we came from one. We've just not been able to come into oneness due to the devil that was made for the purpose of showing us that we will all be one or nothing, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Well, the only way that you and I can stand and grow up to become what we were meant to be, which is the God of the universe, we're going to have to come into oneness so that we can use our talents and our skills in coordination with one another to take charge of this universe. We have a mind that is ever expanding now, just like the universe. So come on, let's take charge. So may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's Assalamu alaikum.